Hello YouTube, just out here in the garden today, and I actually have some stuff going on. 1 second here. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So, finally got all my raised beds strawed off. I was being cheap. I didn't want to spend the money on easy straw again. I used all my other easy straw. So I bought a bale of straw and I bought a weed eater, which I need the weed eater anyway because this is mostly just grass, alfalfa seeds and stuff. But you see, that's clover right there. These are clovers. I got clover germinating in here, and it's not, by accident. I put them in there. So get some extra nitrogen in these beds for next year. And it's just a really good living mulch. It'll keep a lot of other grasses from growing in here once they get set up, because they'll just outcompete most stuff. Once I get most of those grasses pulled up over there, they won't come back until I have to mulch again, which probably be next year. So they'll probably come back then, but it'll be fine. I'll have stuff in there that'll be outcompeting it. So yeah. But basically, all I did to these guys is get all my soil in there finally. There's a couple things I had to wait on, such as my big bag of perlite. I bought a big bag of perlite over there. It's like a cubic foot or 2 cubic foot. I think maybe 2 cubic foot. And it was only like $15 or something. It was a really, really good deal on perlite. I got it from Home Depot, in case you guys are wondering. And they do ship it. So I don't know, I know Cedric will probably watch this eventually, and he probably won't be able to get it shipped to him, but I don't know if you use perlite, Cedric, but yeah, I don't know if they ship outside of the United States, but they definitely ship to most places in the United States, as far as I know. So yeah, and it was free shipping for $15 worth of stuff, so that was a really good deal. Got some Nasturtium growing in, looking pretty good. At least I think this is Nasturtium, I'm pretty sure. Couple different colors, mostly the pink ones, but you got this color is a little bit different, and see that one looks a little bit different than these ones over here. And then you got the red one when it first blooms. I think that turns into the pinkish ones, but when it first blooms it looks kind of reddish. Yeah, still got some soil left over in there. It's mushroom compost, actually, not straight up soil. But what I'm going to do with that is, when I get some of this stuff harvested out, mostly just the carrots and spinach and radishes, lettuce, stuff like that, which my spinach is, I actually don't think this is spinach. This is a different kind of green that's it's like a Chinese, like an Asian spinach, I think is what they basically called it. My strawberries, though, they're doing okay. A couple of them died off. From what I understand, strawberries just don't really like poor soil, and this bed, you can see it's sinking pretty bad because I used mostly wood and stuff and cardboard to fill this, but most of the stuff is not going to be growing in here for very much longer, just the strawberries, and they will actually benefit when it's getting really cold from me covering them up with a little bit of compost. Not covering up the leaves, obviously. I'm going to cut them back anyway, but you get me. I'm kind of cover them up with that compost. It'll almost act like a mulch. But yeah, I got quite a few of them still growing. A couple of them over there, and there's the container ones. I'll walk over there in a second, but I'd say I got 30 or 40. I bought probably 75 of them. So, half of them died, but that's okay. That's why I bought extra. And they're pretty cheap. They're about 60 cents a pop. And they come as runners that already have the roots kind of rooted out on them. Getting some really pretty flowers going on. I don't know what these are. If these are cosmos or what. I'm not sure what they are, but I really like the leaves on them. The leaves are look like big clover or something. Big round clover. And the flowers are looking really pretty, so I'm really happy with those guys. Got quite a few jalapenos. I just harvested our jalapeno maybe a week and a half ago, and it's already grown them back. So all my peppers are doing pretty good, even being in the cold. Even the ones that weren't producing very good before are actually producing better now. I think they just didn't fully take hold before that really we had like a really dry summer here and hot compared to normal. Like we had a pretty big drought. Cedric said over where he lives it was kind of humid, so it definitely was not that here. It was a little bit later on in the year, but earlier on in the year, it didn't rain for probably like 3 weeks here at one point in time, which is really, really long for southern Illinois. That's a really long time to go without rain in southern Illinois. But yeah, I figured out this year, guys, that I don't really like radishes very much. I've enjoyed eating anything else out of the garden that I've eaten. Like the carrots and stuff are really good. I definitely like the carrots. So I'm thinking next year, wherever I was going to grow radishes, I might grow like 1 or 2, like a parsnip or 2, and just try them and just see if I can deal with them, or maybe I like them in something. But a lot of people eat radishes raw, and man, they're way too strong for me. Just saying. Yeah. And there's a couple different kinds that I have, so I don't know if I've tried all of them yet, because I just kind of like threw them all in there because I was just going at it this year. But yeah, next year I'll probably like selectively plant a couple seeds of each kind and just try them and decide if I like them. But I have tried the lettuce. The lettuce is really good. It's like a butter crunch lettuce. It's really similar to like a romaine. And eventually, it takes a while. But I also planted it really late. Eventually, it almost gets a heart. Oh, sorry, I wasn't pointing at it. But you can see it's not quite, it's like a half heart, half leaf lettuce, but it almost wants to grow up in a little heart. Kind of like romaine. And yeah, it's really good. These greens, they've just been getting eaten up by insects so bad and blights and stuff that I haven't really messed with them as much. I did try one day, but like here's some of the young leaves. You're probably supposed to harvest them when they're like this. So let's see. Kind of curly. Make sure there's no bugs on it before I take a bite. I don't like eating bugs very much. I know some people are okay with that, but not me. So yeah, it looks like so. And it tastes really good. Crisp with a little bit of like a lettucey bitterness, you know, that you kind of expect from eating any kind of lettuce. But a little bit sweet and crisp. Not bad. And it's supposed to be like a green, not really like lettuce. So it's probably better for you because, you know, I mean, look at the color of it. It's probably got tons of vitamins compared to that stuff. But that stuff's definitely better. And the carrot greens taste really good. The radish greens are actually better than the radishes. And I think you can also eat beet greens. I need to maybe try to grow some beets just for the greens, because I actually really like the greens off of those. They're really flavorful, because they kind of have the flavor of the radish without being overpowering. Still got my rosemary going and some lavender. My mint, I got like in those little bricks spots over there. There's some mint growing. That little, 1 second. Let's see if you guys can see my finger without me doing something weird. Right above my finger, there's that little patch of mint right there. Right above the tip of my finger. There's a couple different plants growing up in 2 different blocks. So, I mean, we should maybe have some mint eventually too. And I think they said that stuff grows like a weed. So I might want to transplant it to containers. And this is my new garlic bed that I got in not too long ago. We finally got all our garlic in, and I planted it. I'm willing to pull up one of these and just show you, even if it affects, you know, like if it maybe makes it to where it doesn't sprout later, that's fine. If I lose one to show, that's fine, if I can find one. There should be one around the outside, I thought. They might be deeper than I think they are. I can't find one of those. We'll try a different one. How about that? My cat is loving it. She's just over here being right in the way. I really planted these deeper than I remember. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, that is a dirt clod. Holy shit. You're kind of supposed to plant these deep, but okay, there we go. So, this is Musica garlic, which I believe is a rocambole hardneck garlic. So I got some hardneck garlics, and I got some Inchelium red. That's Inchelium red garlic growing up right here. And then I also have Inchelium red through the back of some of these, and then these two on the right. It's either these two on the right or the one on the right is elephant garlic. But either way, I'll definitely be able to tell when they start growing, because elephant garlic is a lot bigger than the regular garlic. I think they said it grows about 3 to 4 foot tall greens. So I just kind of put it back over. Come on, June. Come on, June bug, let's go. Oh, my freaking cat. She's a really good cat. One of the kittens that was born not too long ago. She's a really good kitty. Let's let you pick her up and everything. But she likes to get in the way. I'm sure nobody could believe that this cat wants to be in anybody's way. Look at her. And we thought she was a boy, or we didn't really know. We were calling her Steve Jr. because she looks a lot like my other cat, Steve. She got the bigger body structure. She ended up being a girl, so now she's June. Juniper, Junebug, whatever. Hey, you know you're not supposed to walk on these. She knows that if she walks on them, she gets more attention. Okay, so let's see. These are the yellow potato onions growing up here, and they're growing up fairly good. Got some good greens on them already. They grew up really quick in the course of the last couple weeks, and then these guys have been planted for about a week. And this is just, well, this might be just grass. Yeah, that's just grass probably. Yeah, they're not growing up. Hey, don't walk through my onions, little brat. Anyway, but yeah, I got the garlic growing in the back, some onions growing in the front. These onions spread out really good every year. They're like a perennial onion. The potato ones, the yellow potato onions, which are these two over here, they spread out through like basal growth, which is like at the base of the plant. They split off bulbs. And then these guys over here will shoot off basal growth. I believe it's during the fall that they shoot off basal growth, or maybe the spring. One of the off months, not the summer when they're growing real good. They shoot off the basal growth either before the summer or after. I can't remember which. And then during the summer, when they're growing really good at the height of summer, they'll grow up these flower stalks, almost like a garlic plant. And I think maybe some onions do it too, other than these guys. But they'll grow up like a flower stalk, and that flower stalk will turn into like a little onion bulb. And it'll just kind of like, eventually it'll get so heavy it'll just lean over, and that stalk it's on dies, and it just kind of self-roots itself, and it becomes a whole new onion. So those are called the Egyptian walking onions, is what a lot of people call them, or like tree onions. I've heard them called tree onions because they look like a little tree when they got the bulbs on top. But yeah, they spread two ways, and they spread really fast. You can either eat those bulbs off the top if you don't want to, you know, you don't want to mess with planting them, like cutting them off and planting them or whatever, or you can just let them do their thing, and some of them will survive and root themselves, and some of them won't, depending on the soil that you have them in. And then the ones that grow under the surface are just going to spread out in a year anyway. So they make really good like green onions, because they just grow green onions like all year. You see they're growing really aggressively in the fall. We're basically I mean, is it actually, I can't remember if it's actually fall yet or not, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm stupid about seasons. I only know when certain seasons start. But yeah, it's definitely, it's cool. We're having some cool nights, and these guys are growing really good still, so yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Got my big compost pile still. Using that tarp to kill off like some poison ivy and different weeds back there. I'm just gonna like get those ones all killed off right there, like after a few days, and then maybe move it over. Probably a week, probably, that I leave it there, and then move it over. And then I'll just keep moving it further and further. And then I want to, because I don't want to kill off that brush back there. I just want to kill off the little weeds that are growing up close to here, because that brush is good for, you know, keeping the wind from coming through. But I want to plant some stuff through here. One thing that I've been thinking about planting is like daylilies. I have some daylilies up in the front. They're really pretty. So I just thought maybe planting them around the border around here, a couple places, maybe over here by these guys. They spread out really easy, and they're edible. They're like an edible weed basically. So that's good. Oh yeah, I told you guys I'd let you see the strawberries over here. So yeah, they're growing a couple runners, and you're really not supposed to let them grow runners. But since I had some die, and I'm gonna move these guys inside, usually you wouldn't let them grow runners because you want them to root out really deep in your soil, so that when the winter comes, they can survive easier with a deeper root system and everything, better root system. But since these guys are probably all going to go like inside in my basement and go into hibernation, I'm okay with the runners growing like this. And then I'm probably going to take them inside. See this one? Hey, look at this one here. That's better than the strawberry plants I got, you know. But what I'm going to do is just let them grow out until it's a little starting to get too cool for them to just be hanging like that. And I'll take them inside and I'll plant them in something, let them root up. And I might grow them inside or put them through hibernation in the basement for the year, basically. We'll just have to see what happens with that. But yeah, probably going to do something like that and then come out and plant them next year. These are these ones. I don't know if I showed you guys these ones. They're kind of growing up okay. And the runners will probably end up in here to fill this out next year at the beginning of the year. And then if they grow berries, I'll just let them grow berries. And they just won't be very good ones. But they should still root up if I put them in at the very beginning of the year. Like in spring or whatever. So yeah. Things to do. I'm going to be taking this compost pile and move it into my new compost bins. And if you guys want to build compost bins, I can't even stress how easy it is. I tested different fence posts for you, so you guys can make it even easier than I had it. I'm still not done because more zip ties, but in order for me to zip tie them, since it's kind of awkwardly placed at the border there, I got to go inside and zip tie them from the inside, and I just didn't feel like it the day that I was doing it. So I zip tied them in a couple places and didn't cut them, and just super lazy, no big deal. Got some more chicken wire left. I'm making 2 more of these bitches. These things. I mean, sorry, I shouldn't cuss them on YouTube, I guess. The 2-foot chicken wire, which is obviously the one that's still in the plastic, it's shorter. I might use it to, it was just super cheap, so I bought it anyway. But I might use it to make a little tiny fence around that so that my fucking cats will stop climbing in there so easy. Like, I know they're still going to be able to get above that. They can still just jump in there. But at least it'll give them something to be like, I don't feel like climbing the fence, you know? And then nothing pretty much at all has been digging in those. They dug up maybe the first week or 2, every other day, something to dig it up. And there'd be a piece of garlic sitting on the surface. Or sometimes the garlic could just be still planted in the ground, like it never even moved it. So I think they finally figured out they don't want anything that's in that bed. None of that stuff tastes good to them. They don't like garlic and onions, whatever, probably skunks or something. There's no worms in there, grubs in there for them yet, because I didn't add any worms or worm castings to that, so there's literally nothing for them in there. So yeah, they have stopped digging that up. That's really good. But I just want to put the fence around there, just a little precaution, and to keep my freaking cats out of there. But yeah, I'm going to move this big compost pile into these, and I probably will split it up between a couple of them, even if it's not, like, even if I can't, like, divvy it to completely like done compost and not done and all that, but it'll be fine. I'll just put it in 2 of them, and then I'm going to build 2 more right here. And there's that wood right there. I'm probably going to have to move that back, but that wood in, I don't know, it's been there for a while, but not that crazy long. In a few more years, that wood is going to be compost, guys. That big, it's a big chunk of wood. My buddy John brought it up to me, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't even really think about that. But yeah, he's totally right. That is going to be mushroom compost basically when it's done composting down. So I need to put that somewhere where I have access to it, so not behind these compost bins. I need to like maybe move it off to the side over here. I don't really want to break it up and put it in the compost bins. It's a lot of work. It's probably got termites in it. I just need to come out here with some gloves and a shovel and just kind of scrape it over there. That way, when it does compost down, it composts down somewhere where I can shovel it up, put it in the wheelbarrow, and put it on the garden. And I'm just going to start keeping everything like that. But yeah, basically, going to have to peel the tape off some of these boxes. Most of them don't have any tape on them. I already peeled them off. But a couple of the boxes I got from Cracker Barrel for my girlfriend's work, they still kind of got some tape on them, but that's okay. I'll be ripping those off later, some point in time. Put them all in here, get that all filled out. Put 2 more here. I'm gonna leaf blow all my leaves. I got a leaf blower. I'm gonna leaf blow all my leaves back here to this rough region. I got those water buckets. Those are my old water buckets. I don't need them anymore because I get plenty of water from freaking rain, man. I think even in a drought, I would have enough water to maybe only have to make a bucket every couple weeks. Even like if we're in a drought, I might have to make a bucket the last couple days and water at one time, and then it would be raining again. So yeah, it's really, really good system. Get you guys a rain catchment. But yeah, back to these. These were cheap, guys. These were really cheap. Actually, this one was the most expensive one because I used U-posts. And I'll tell you what, if you guys want the sturdiest solution, go get you some U-posts, some 4-foot U-posts, or you could do 3-foot ones, and you put them a foot in the ground. And if you get 3-foot ones, you want 2-foot chicken wire. It wouldn't be as tall as mine. It'd be like right about here, so probably about up to my knee or so, maybe a little higher than my knee, which would be a decent sized compost pile you can make in there. And the reason I like this over wood is because all this stuff is supposed to be out here. Wood is not going to last for very long unless it's treated wood, and you really don't want that treated wood sitting right up against your stuff. This is galvanized. Galvanized metal does not, as far as we know at this point in time, galvanized metal does not leach into soil and contaminate plants that you're growing as vegetables or your compost. So galvanized is good, and powder coating, which is what these are, well, that just lasts so long that I don't think that there's any chance of it ever hurting me, just because it doesn't break down. It takes it forever to break down, guys. And then I got these, which I really like. Something landed on me, guys. I really like these too, but for something else. These are electric step-in electric fence posts. So they got the little metal stake on the bottom, and then they're well, I think the stake on these is just fiberglass, and then they're fiberglass. But I mean, if you look at the way these are, it's got a lot of flexibility. Now, because of the way I designed these, as long as I get this is like a door basically, so I don't actually have this fastened over here. It's just kind of clinging with its little, metal fingers or whatever. But I'm going to get something to fasten that, and once that's tight, it should just pull out on these posts, and they should all be good. It should just push out on all of them. Probably not equally. Some of them might bow out a little bit more than others, but they'll just bow out a little bit like that, and it should be fine. No big deal. But if you want and those are $2, by the way. The U-posts are about $5 a piece, $4.50 a piece. Those are only $2. So yeah, if you want the sturdiest, longest lasting option, get the U-posts. That makes sense. But I was being cheap. I just wanted to see if they'd work, and I found these, and I really like these a lot. Now you can just already see they got a fair amount of flexibility in, but not very much out, which is good. The metal's kind of hanging on that, but that's pretty much as that will flex out. You can see this one. See, even though there's just this thin little bit of metal around it and it's not held to anything, it still don't really bend out very much further than that. So these are really good. They're just black plastic, but they have a metal core running down at least some of them. So yeah, they're pretty good for $2 a piece. And those fiberglass ones are $2 a piece. I like these better. They come in white and black. And then the chicken wire, I got a big 50-foot roll of chicken wire for $25 for the 3-foot stuff. It's a 1-inch diamond hole here. It's this stuff, and it's galvanized, and it's 20 gauge, so it's good enough to hold back compost. This compost is not going to be that heavy. It's mostly light, fluffy stuff that you put in compost, like your own compost at home. It's not like cow manure, you know, or topsoil or clay or anything like that. So this chicken wire is going to last just fine. But what I'd recommend you guys to do, look around a little bit. Just like go search at Home Depot, look online a little bit. I just was looking online at Lowe's, and the rolls that I used for these first two were $5 rolls of chicken wire. It was a 25-foot, $5 roll of chicken wire. And a 25-foot will do one of these 5x5s. And the reason I did it 5x5 is that's just how far apart they said these fins supposed to last. But you can obviously tell this one is the tightest. I'll probably end up buying the other two as U-posts just because I have the money now. But I just wanted to test those other ones out, and they work okay. They'll probably last for 5 years or something like that. The U-posts, I'll probably be replacing the chicken wire before I replace the U-posts. They last a long time. They're really, really sturdy, really heavy gauge metal, for what you're using them for anyway. If you're like holding back cattle, you might want more. I think they use T-posts for cattle, which look a little sturdier just the way they're made. But these are better for what I'm doing because it naturally kind of wants to bend around the U-post. So it's pretty good. Yeah, so that's all, guys. The garden is pretty much done. All we have left to do now is kind of amend it with I got some dry amendment fertilizers I'm going to have next year. I'll probably just re-amend it with dry amendments. Just bring everything in that's coming in for the winter and winterize it. And then this thing will just sit here for the winter. I'll leave a lot of these carrots and onions in the ground for the winter. We'll test it to see, do onions actually do good over the winter? Because a lot of people say they do. A lot of people say if your winters are too cold, they don't. So like maybe somebody around me who's close to Mount Vernon, Illinois, Bonnie, Illinois area, my buddy might be watching. He's from like Edwardsville area. Yeah, if any of those people wanted to grow some stuff like this, they could know, oh, I can leave it in the ground. It's not going to die. Because what I've heard is that you can have onions and they bulb up, and then you mulch them really good with a bunch of straw on top to keep them warm. And the straw it'll hold moisture in, but as long as it's not like raining on it or you're not watering them every day, it kind of keeps them dry in a way too, because it soaks up some moisture. Spreads it out basically. But you mulch everything, the strawberries, the onions, and then apparently you can come out here through the winter and harvest carrots, onions, that stuff that bulbs up, like the ground, the root vegetables and stuff like that bulb up. You can harvest them throughout the winter because apparently they last with some mulch on them. So we'll test that this year. That'll be something I'll be wanting to see if it works. We'll bring the peppers in. I'm probably just going to let all my like lavender and stuff like that die off. That was like more pest control, but I'm going to grow some lavender next year in a raised bed. I'll probably have everything I have this year and more next year. So yeah, this is probably pretty much our send-off for the garden. I'll probably make a couple more small videos. So that's why I made such a long video. I just wanted to talk to you guys about all the stuff I had going on. And sorry, been doing stuff, so haven't been making any videos. Sorry, guys. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy your time on YouTube, and I'll see you guys around. Thanks. Bye.